Welcome to episode number 26 of the Keep Up podcast.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would laugh too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't.
You just
I thought you were trying to
weird.
make it seem like I told a good joke and everyone missed it.
No, everyone knows you didn't tell a good joke.
That hurts. Anyways.
Yeah, we're it's number 26, and I'm here with Timothy David Martin, the eighth of the House of Urine.
Could I please not be the house of urine? I'll be the house of anything.
I don't know.
Even Cockapoo Pee Shire.
I don't know why that's what came out.
You're thinking of urine.
I'm not.
Okay.
Anyways. So we're, I always want to say we're back, but like we're always back. Like we always, next
but
week.
we're back again.
Right.
To satisfy the masses.
The masses.
Yes.
Yeah.
All 15 people that listen.
Well, I think there's more than that now.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I think. I
Well,
don't know.
thank you, lucky number 16.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Welcome, new listeners. We might have some new listeners.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
I would certainly be a fan of the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of fans.
So, dude,
Yeah.
this week was like the biggest week ever
In history?
in history.
Why?
There was like World War II, which was a big event.
That was a pretty big deal.
There was earthquake in San Francisco, which was not this week, just a big event. But this week,
Yeah, I was confused when you said World War II. I was like, I don't know if you have your historical events lined up.
that's a big event. But
But it didn't happen this week, though.
No, I know. I'm saying.
Right,
big
you
events.
went back.
Right.
You lost me for a
So
second.
this week was
Yeah.
E3.
So you're comparing World War II
Yes.
and other such tragedies
Yes.
to E3?
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of confused.
Because they're both big in scale.
Okay.
So this is like our World War II, but nobody's fighting. Everyone's just loving each other.
Okay. So really there's no parallel.
There is, World War II was a changing point.
Why World War II? Why didn't you go like, you should have gone with like events, like there's the Grammys.
And then the Great Depression. I get you. We're at the same thing here. I get what you're meaning.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I guess E3 is kind of like a blood-stained mark on the history of our country.
It is because it's a battleground for all
Not-
new games.
Not just our country.
Yeah, Brett. Just America. Get out of here, you Brits. Okay, I like the Brits.
It's getting strangely political.
Trump.
Don't.
I care this much about politics.
Yeah.
I can't even. That's how much I care.
For those who aren't watching, Tim's holding his fingers really close together.
And then I just closed them because
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's not good to not care about politics.
People say it's not good. I don't care.
Vote for Miney Mooney.
I
for
care.
president.
I care. I just feel like we don't really know anything.
Yeah, I feel like Facebook and Twitter, like that's how we get all of our
Those are our politics now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like, they're paying to give the people the information they want to give.
Yeah. And realistically, I don't even know what happens once someone is elected. I don't know what goes on in the White House. Nobody knows for real.
No.
You know?
No.
That's how I feel.
I bet there are people who know.
There are some people who know. The president knows. But how much?
Not much.
Not much.
No, I think the president's a patsy. And then
He's a
behind
patsy.
him is like the X-Files and Men in Black.
Nothing ever makes sense. The
Nope.
media is just making stuff up, saying stuff that might be true but might not be. And they don't care because it's their job. Not that they don't care. They probably care. I'm sure there are people in the media who want to give the truth. Like us. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Just give some truth.
Spread the truth.
Spread the realness.
Like butter
Yeah.
on a sandwich.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Also, what kind of sandwich are you putting butter on?
You never had a butter sandwich?
I guess you put butter on sandwiches.
You can. Like
You
grilled
you
cheese.
butter the bread, right?
But have you ever had 2 pieces of bread and then put butter in between and eat it like that?
Isn't that just toast?
Yeah, but it's a butter sandwich.
It's not a butter sandwich.
When you put 2 pieces of bread on top of each other, it's a butter sandwich. If there's butter in the middle.
Right. If there's not, it's not a butter sandwich, right? Just to be clear.
Yes.
If you just have 2 pieces of bread on top of each other, that's not a butter sandwich.
Right. Sometimes. It depends what you put in the middle. It's funny how that determines what a sandwich is.
What's in the middle?
What's in the middle?
It is an ever-changing creature, isn't it, the sandwich?
It just like evolves into whatever you want it to
Whatever
be.
you put in the sandwich is what sort of sandwich it is. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes you say what kind of bread it is, but not often.
If you're fancy.
If you're super fancy.
Or at Subway.
Or certain sandwiches, at Subway, you need to decide. They'll get so mad at you if you don't decide.
I'll just have the bread. What kind? The bread.
The bread. But like some sandwiches, you only use a certain kind of bread, right? Like a what's that one kind? You know the one with like the sauerkraut and the they're actually super delicious.
Reuben.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to use rye on that, right? Is that right?
Yeah. I think rye or sour dough.
Oh, is it sourdough?
I don't know.
I love sourdough bread.
I don't know the difference.
What's your favorite sandwich? Think about it during this episode and we'll do food later.
Okay.
First, reflections.
Oh, okay.
We put out our latest interview, Edward Payson. Just put it out this past Tuesday. And I say the word awesome like 150,000 times.
Because it was awesome.
I need new words. People, like, if you go back, first of all, if you haven't listened to it, we just put it out Tuesday. Go back and listen to it. It's really, really good. Edward shared so much cool stuff with us, and I really enjoyed listening back to it. Did you listen through it?
I'm terrible.
Yeah, you're the worst.
I was there, Brett.
Yeah, you were there for it. But it was super fun going through and listening to, everything we got to talk about again, and his awesome video game collection and all that kind of business.
Oh, yeah. I think the interviews are always fun. It's almost like a 3-way podcast like we had with JB in our last podcast. But it's just cool to get the insight on, like, for instance, Edward. He's a director in LA.
Right.
That's like top quality. You hear about that stuff, but you don't actually talk to the people or know the people that do it. So it was really cool just to talk to him about it.
Exactly. I was super stoked to talk to him about that stuff because it's just certain questions. Like I was really curious about, like, is everyone out there making movies and stuff like that? Because we have a certain image of what it looks like to be out there. And so, anyways, that's a really cool interview. You should go check it out. And at the end, I definitely said "awesome" like so many times in a row. It's really. I shouldn't point it out because now you're gonna go listen to it and you're definitely gonna hear it.
Like awesome, but dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I think at the end I said something like, "Hey, dude, thanks for hanging out with us. It's been awesome." And he was like, "Yeah, man, thanks." And then I was like, "So an antiheroproduction.com?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Awesome." And then I was like, "And people can email you at," and then he said his email address, and I was like, "Awesome."
Maybe you were trying to make a joke.
I definitely wasn't. I would know if I was. I was not trying to make a joke. But aside from my lack of vocabulary, that was a pretty fun episode. And my other reflection is our last episode. Our last podcast episode, technically the interview came out last, but that was our first guest host with JB, and that was fun.
It was fun.
And I was bummed about the audio.
Oh my God, we are the worst hosts ever.
I was such bummered.
Yeah, you were much sad.
Much sadness in me.
Me so angry.
But I heard from some people and they were like, "Dude, it's not that bad." Like,
I've totally heard way worse.
Yeah, it's just a bummer because like we had everything set up and I don't know, it was sad, but
it shows that we're real. We're not fake.
No, not fake.
Fake.
And I couldn't not put it out. There was too much stuff.
Right. It was too much high quality entertainment.
But it was awesome. Shout out to JB. Not that he needs a shout out because we did a whole episode. So, stop being so selfish. And speaking of a lot of stuff, which I said a couple seconds ago, I don't know, maybe I missed the opportunity for the segue, but we have a ton of stuff to talk about.
A ton?
Yeah.
Like if we measured it, would it be a ton?
A metric ton.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
You should be.
Okay, then we should get to it instead of gabbing away.
Okay, can we go directly into movie films?
Ooh, movie films! You said hang on, so I was letting my nose explode.
Okay, so there's one movie in particular.
Street Fighter 2.
Yes. Do you remember it?
No.
The animated one?
No.
It was really good.
No.
Have you really never seen that?
No. That was a lot of no's.
Yeah, it was a ton.
No, I need to watch all the older Street Fighter
Whatever,
stuff.
dude. We're not... The joke is over. Can we move on to what's real? Sorry, what were you saying?
No.
Did you watch the Jean-Claude Van Damme one?
Nope.
Dude, really? You've never seen that?
Nope. I've seen the cover of the VHS tape.
That's probably the best way to watch it on VHS.
On VHS.
Is it the only? It might be the only way to watch. No, they
It's
have
on
it on
Netflix, or was on Netflix.
They probably put it on Blu-ray too. I'm sure they came out with some special. Anyways, I'm talking about X-Men.
X-Men what, Brett?
The first one.
The first one.
All right. Eventually, I want to talk about X-Men Apocalypse. But first, I watched the whole everything before we saw... No, that's not true. Okay, I watched X1 through 3. First Class, Days of Future Past. Then we went and saw Apocalypse. Afterwards, watched X-Men Origins Wolverine, unfortunately. And then...
You mean gratefully.
And then we rewatched Deadpool because I feel like... I mean, that's... I feel like we don't know yet how intertwined...
I think they're very...
I mean, same universe, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and then the only one I didn't get to watch within this past week and a couple days is The Wolverine, which I'm bummed about because I really wanted to have them all
fresh
stocked for this X-Men exclusive.
X-Men.
It's not exclusive at all. You can probably go anywhere and listen to people talk about X-Men right now. But a quick recap. How recently have you seen the series?
I rewatched it probably a year ago, maybe a little more.
Okay.
So it's fresh.
Just 1 through 3, or
1 through 3. Yeah, just 1 through 3. And then First Class, and that was it.
Yeah. Okay. So 1 is great. It feels dated at this point, but it's super cool. It's funny seeing Hugh Jackman for the first time. I swear to you, he slips in and out of his Australian accent from time to time.
In that movie,
in
or
the
just
first
overall?
one, no, like in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't new at the time. He wasn't a new actor.
No, just as Wolverine.
Yeah,
seeing him for the first. I don't
bet
know
he
if
was just getting into the skin of Wolverine.
Oh yeah,
trying to
for
figure
sure.
him out.
Yeah, I don't know if I finished that thought, but it was.
Sorry,
it's
I
seeing.
interrupted
No,
you.
I mean myself. Like sometimes I say most of the words I want to say, but not all of them. But it was cool seeing him as Wolverine for the first time. Like going back and be like, this is the first time we ever saw him, because now it's such a like he is Wolverine.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yep.
So that was great. X2 is awesome. Nightcrawler's the jam. That opening sequence with Nightcrawler.
Yeah, that's when he goes to the White House, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Stryker has that like mutant controlling substance that he puts on the back of their necks.
Yes.
And all that stuff. So that's super dope. And then that also has the scene where Stryker's men go to Xavier's school, and Wolverine's like watching the kids. And there's that whole scene inside the mansion. Do you remember it?
Isn't he like taking out the guys without like alerting the kids? Like,
well, the kids are mostly asleep, but then they come in with they're like tranquilizing all the kids basically, and but Wolverine like takes everyone out, and it's
I kind of remember it.
It's so good.
It's
dude.
not super fresh, but
it's like one of the best. Because that's one thing that feels most dated about the first X-Men is the fight scenes are like nothing special at all.
Really?
Especially comparatively to what we see now. Because like, I mean, we're fresh off a Civil War. So you look at something like that and then you go back and watch X-Men and you see someone like throw a guy and it's that like, oh, like he flies across the screen and hits a wall and you can almost tell like where the shots were cut. And it's not poorly done or anything. It's just the time.
Right.
But then you get to X2 and like the Nightcrawler scene is amazing, as I said, but specifically because of like the way they did the action, and it's like really enticing to watch. And that Wolverine scene at the Xavier school is great because it's one of the, I don't know, probably one of the like key times that you get to see Wolverine just running through hallways and slashing people. So X2 is great. What do you think of The Last Stand?
You know, it's one of those movies, like we've talked about it plenty of times before, but you know, it's one of those movies that everyone says it's bad.
Right.
But it's not bad.
I don't think it's bad.
It's, you know, it's not the strongest X-Men movie.
It's not, for sure.
But it's not as bad as everyone remembers it and everyone says it is.
Right. I think it does feel like they were trying to end a series. I think if you watch it, it feels like they do some extreme things where it's like, oh, let's get this character in here. People are going to want to see this character. Let's kill off some major players for like shock value. It wasn't. I feel like it's a thing where you really have to separate it from like any of the lore because they're just making a movie.
Right.
But I would say that that's probably where it falls a little short, is that it felt like we're trying to end a series here. So there are parts that felt like a little rushed. And the one, spoilers for X3, by the way, if you've never seen The Last Stand. But this movie revolves a lot around the cure. They have a cure for mutant kind. And the one major thing that I can't get over is the way that they stop Magneto at the end is by giving him the cure.
Right.
And they ambush him, and Beast stabs him with the cure. And I feel like from a moral standpoint, the X-Men would not do that.
Yeah.
Because they're all, like, I just feel like that wouldn't be the solution that they'd use.
Well, I think there are multiple like layers to that because Xavier's not there.
Right, I thought about that, yeah.
So maybe at that point they don't have like their moral compass, aligned. And maybe they also think Magneto will just do it again and again, and the only way to officially stop him is to do that.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean, because that's not them. They want all mutants to be free and accepted, and like it's not them to suppress powers.
Right, exactly. It's more, it's more about the character. What are you going to do with your powers? But I think what you said actually makes it a little bit more interesting because it's Wolverine and Beast who...
Do they take the reins? Like, are they the leader? At this point?
If I remember correctly, like this is at the end where like Phoenix is destroying everything, and or maybe it's right before. Yeah, it's just madness. Everyone's dying. Everyone, like all the mutants are attacking the soldiers, and there's just a moment within the battle where they look at the cure and they look at each other and they have like, oh, this is what we're gonna do. And I thought about that. I was like, like what I just said definitely applies to Xavier. Like I feel like Xavier's character, he would be like, no, we're not going to strip him of his powers. We're going to try to talk some sense into him. But Xavier's not there. And I think that's like, that almost makes that more interesting. It's like, oh, that's not X-Men like, but their leader's not there. So I don't know. That's just one choice overall. Like I don't know if that's what was on their minds when they wrote that scene, but it's definitely a weird moment where it's like, and it's even kind of awkward to watch because they just like stab him, and then it's like you just sit there for a minute. Like they're not fighting or anything. Beast just stabs him and then like backs up, and then Magneto's like, Charles.
That was the greatest impression.
Really. Rachel and I were doing it yesterday while we were driving. Just like, Charles Xavier. Hello, old friend. Ian McClellan's the man.
Oh, he's awesome.
And also, Phoenix is horrifying in that movie. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, I liked what they did with her, and she's out of her mind, and... I don't know. I
think it's crazy. Wolverine was fighting against it and getting his face ripped apart. Like,
yes, that part was nuts.
It was crazy, and you're right. It is the last movie, so it's totally okay for them to do shock factor, for them to kill off major characters.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like, wait, what?
Yep.
Like, what are they doing? Because I know when I saw it, I wasn't thinking like in trilogy terms, like, oh, this is going to be the end. I don't usually think like that. I mean, I guess I'm starting to more, but I just go into like this individual movie.
Right.
But watching it again, I'm like, oh, I can see why this seems some of it's a little convoluted. There are certain characters that are like, oh, they threw Juggernaut in. What happens with Mystique? Like Mystique gets cured and you just don't see her again.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, but I don't hate it. Like I would watch it again. It's not an awful movie. And there are definitely some discrepancies after watching all the movies that are like, oh, I don't really know how this happened. But Magneto at the end, it's implied that he's like getting his powers back. If you're watching the video, I just did a weird thing with my hand because that's what Magneto does.
That's what he does is the hand thing.
And there's also a post-credits scene in that movie that I didn't know about until like last year, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I just didn't
dude. How'd you not know?
I don't know. I was talking to someone about X3, like, I can't believe like they killed Xavier, blah blah blah, and they're like, yeah, but he like threw his body at the end of X3, or threw his mind, like his consciousness, into another body. So at the end of it, they are like, oh, they're not dead.
That's such a like major.
It's
scene.
massive. You know what I mean? But like, I wasn't like post-credit scene savvy at the point at that time.
The first two don't have post-credits, do they?
No. I checked everything as we were watching them. So I know what we really want to get to, so I'll quickly say First Class is unbelievable. I love that movie.
It was a joy.
Kevin Bacon kills it. I love seeing young Magneto, what goes on with him. Coincidentally, during World War II. So seeing that history, and Michael Fassbender's like the man. I just love him so much as an actor, as Magneto. He's killer. I really love James McAvoy too. First Class was just great. I just loved that.
Would you say it's class?
What?
Class?
Class?
That's something British people say. It's class, but I tried to put a British accent on it.
So would I... Oh,
class.
I was thinking like German. I thought you were saying like Klaus.
Klaus or something.
I was like, what does that mean? Yes.
Because it's first class.
Is that good?
Oh my God, that joke. It's over now. You've ruined it.
Can we just dwell on it for a minute?
No, it's over.
Days of Future Past is just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It's so good. And you get the crossover thing, and it's funny because I had I guess I just hadn't really thought about it, but it's funny that we got First Class, which had none of the original players, and then we go back to, and then after that they did Days of Future Past, which crossed the worlds.
Right.
Which I still maintain is brilliant. Like, I really can't think of another time in film that something like this has happened where a universe has practically been reset.
And they did it so seamlessly.
It's pretty clean.
It is beautiful how they did it. They gave all the characters like their last, scenes basically. They all had all the original characters.
Yes.
They finished them off very well. And then now we're with these new characters.
Right.
And I don't know if Marvel's going to be able to pull that off,
Wait, you don't know if Marvel's going to be able to pull what off?
Like the seamless character switching, like...
Oh, you're saying in the MCU?
Right, like I think
yes.
This is the perfect example of what they could do.
That's really interesting.
The new characters, the old characters. But Marvel, I don't know how they're going to do that transition.
Right.
If they're going to do it,
right. Yeah, well, they have to at some point. I mean, there's definitely going to be... But what's been interesting about that, to step away from X-Men for a minute, is like, I'm wondering, are they going to replace... is Cap going to be, are we going to see Bucky become Cap?
Right.
Or are we going to see a completely new actor? And, same thing with certain other characters like an Iron Man. Are we going to see someone take over the suit that we've already seen? Or are we just going to see a new actor play Tony Stark? So, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, in Days of Future Past, it's just such a good movie, and I haven't seen the Rogue cut yet.
I think that is the superior version to watch, just because it has. I have to compare it to the original movie, but it has, I think, 3 additional scenes.
Okay.
2 of them I noticed, and one of them I think was just because Rogue was in it. But it's worth seeing that version just because it's not necessary for the story, but it certainly helps it. It's just a cool scene, and it kind of just gives a little more screen time for certain characters.
Right,
so
right.
It's good.
It's kind of amazing, just how they. I don't even know. It's just such a good movie.
Yeah,
the action in it is some of the best. We get the Quicksilver scene.
The Quicksilver scene,
which I realize I don't think they call him Quicksilver ever in anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Peter Maximoff.
Right. But, I mean, he is Quicksilver. To the audience, he's
Sure. But that's in Days of Future Past, right? That's not First Class. That's
right, yeah.
Days of Future Past.
Yes.
So that scene's unbelievable. That's the first we see of him. And if you haven't seen Days of Future Past, you need to watch that. But I want to move on to Apocalypse.
Dude.
Here's the thing. This movie rules.
It rules with a tude.
All right. Thank you, early 90s Tim. It rules with a tude. That might be a good time for a sonic transition.
Yes.
So I had heard not bad things.
By heard, you mean you went to Rotten Tomatoes and saw the most abysmal reviews. Rotten Tomatoes sucks.
I mean, that was definitely part of it, but some of it was also, I had friends who were posting on Facebook and stuff about like, it was all right, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I don't know what people are talking about. This movie was so good. I want to get more specific because I hate just being like, it was good.
It was great.
It was so good. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
But like, okay, let me just say through the entire thing, I felt like so emotional. So are we going spoilers on this?
Yeah.
All right.
It's been out for a little while.
Major spoilers for X-Men Apocalypse. Go see this movie and then come listen to this part of the podcast. I mean, that's foreshadowing. Hopefully this will be a good discussion.
Right.
So emotional through the whole thing. I mean, we have more of Magneto's story. He's becoming like one of my favorite characters.
Which I think that was so great what they did with him. Like, it's terrible in the movie, but
Sure.
it is... I don't know how they did it, but they made me feel so much for Magneto.
Huge, right?
Because in the last movie, he tried to kill the entire, like, U.S. higher-ups, I guess, like the president and all those guys.
Oh, yeah, right.
And so it's, he's a villain, and nobody really liked him at the end of that. And then they give you this, like, emotional, amazing, like, beginning arc with him for this.
Right,
and
right.
it was just incredible.
And that's why I love him so much, and that's why he's always been this incredible villain, because he and Xavier still have this relationship and this friendship, and seeing the history behind that is so powerful. And like even in Days of Future Past, they when they first go to release him from jail, they say that he's in there because he tried to kill the president. And then you find out, he says, I was trying to save the president, but I couldn't curve the bullet in time because the president was a mutant at the time. So you see this like Magneto's form of justice as he's really trying to like defend his own kind and stuff like that. And even I'll never forget in X-Men 3, in The Last Stand, I always loved, there's a moment where Pyro is like talking to Magneto, and he's like, I would have killed the professor myself if you let me. And Magneto like stops him, and he's like, Charles Xavier has done more for mutant kind than you know. And I was like, yes, like defending his homie. Like there's a ton of tension there. And I think that's right before I think Xavier dies. And that maybe it's right after. I don't remember, but that
it must have been after, because I think Pyro was there. They were all fighting at Jean Grey's house.
Yes, you're right.
And I think, he would have got to Xavier first before he got killed. So I think, anyways, that's what it sounds like. Anyway,
but anyways, that whole dynamic of Magneto still having this like. He's not crazy. He's just like, his intentions are they manifest in bad stuff,
right?
And but in this movie, so they took, like you said, in Days of Future Past, he's like trying to kill off the president and all these like U.S. officials, and then in Apocalypse, he's gone to like a more secluded area. Is he in? Ooh, where is he? I feel like.
You could say just Russia. I don't think it's Russia.
It's not,
somewhere
though, is
in
it?
Europe.
Yeah, I forget, but secluded area. He's married. He has a daughter, and they at some point they find out that he's a mutant because he saves someone.
I know.
Right? So because he saves a guy at his shop, he's an iron worker, right? And because he saves a guy, he ends up getting called out as a mutant, and obviously his face is all over the TV and newspapers because he's Magneto, pulling from Days of Future Past, where everything he's doing is televised and everyone's scared of mutants. And also from the events of Days of Future Past, I love that Mystique is this like public hero,
right?
She's the face of like mutant kind, and I love how closely they stayed to that storyline. And so again, major spoilers, but the moment when Magneto's wife and daughter are killed is like, I was like, because everything slows down, and you're watching, all the guys are sitting there watching him and like realizing the error of their ways. It's just crazy.
It's done so well too. It's like you see the arrow go and it's in slow motion.
Yep.
You know it's gonna hit both of them.
And that was crazy. Actually, I wasn't sure if it was just gonna be the little girl,
right,
or just the wife. I was like, are they gonna? Because whenever it's kids, I'm like, are they gonna do that?
A lot of the times they avoid killing kids.
Yeah,
it's just like kind of a no in. But when they do it, it's so like. Not to sound crazy, but it's so much better because it's more emotional. It's like
it pushes the story that much that much harder. Yeah, and in Magneto's case, like, of course he's going to react the way he reacted.
I feel so bad. He is so tortured. Going through World War II and then. Like everything that's gone on in his life, he's just some poor soul that just keeps getting tortured for story purposes. Like, there's no other reason for it.
Yeah, but it is interesting, like looking at that storyline and how he tries. Like that was him, and he says later, he's like, "I tried your way, Charles. Like I tried to be like them," and and then as soon as he gets found out, it's chaos all around him. You know what I mean? And even that moment, what is he has a yelling at the sky moment, but it's a good one. It's not like a no, but he basically he kills all the guys. He's sitting there holding his family, crying, and he's like, "Is this what you want? Is this what I am?" Like just flipping out. Like even him, like what you just said. Like I'm just this tortured, like I don't know. It's just so good, and that's just Magneto's storyline that we're talking about. Yep. I guess some people had. Problems with Apocalypse, thinking that like he could have been more.
He was probably my least favorite like thing about the movie. I feel like he has the story of being the most powerful mutant, and
totally.
I feel like he did show off his powers for the most part, in the final fight and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like he could have been more menacing. I guess.
I feel like they showed it in subtlety, like. When he's basically using dust to decapitate people, I'm like, okay, that's pretty horrifying.
That is, yeah.
And, also kind of surprised this movie caught a PG-13 because it's pretty brutal.
You know what it is? No blood. That's how they get away with it.
No blood, but they can show you, like, open wounds.
Exactly, like...
Crazy.
Yeah, they can show you, open wounds.
And they got their one solid F-bomb in, which was pretty funny.
Love it. They always
Magneto. Yeah, so... Yeah, I thought Apocalypse he posed a real threat, and I thought they did pretty well. I mean, as far as giving him, having one film to use him as the main villain, and I don't know, I enjoyed him. I liked the whole opening scene was crazy when he was transferring himself to a mutant's body who heals, and then he doesn't get uncovered for ever. And I mean, I don't even know. I'm like finding myself lost on what to even talk about, but I really just enjoyed the whole movie. Like Peter's story with, I wasn't sure if they were going to take this route, but Peter says that he knows that Magneto's his father. I didn't know if they were going to deal with that at all, but they directly do, and it's done really well. Yeah, he never comes straight out and says it to Magneto.
Which I think he should have.
I wanted him to. There were a couple times.
It would have been so.
But it just added that tension a little bit, And I don't know what else. What sticks out to you? Like,
well, the Quicksilver scene.
So good.
It's so good. Like. Bryan Singer is just a genius when it comes to those Quicksilver scenes. There's only been 2 of them, but I hope it's like a staple for all future.
Me too.
Movies.
Because this one definitely trumps the first one.
It was so amazing.
It's longer. It's super intricate. I don't even know how. And I love how they do those scenes where everything. I mean, maybe this is obvious, but just thinking about. The aesthetic of watching everything happen and then seeing all the aftermath all at once.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See it all, fast forward or time, like restart again, keep going.
And it's so funny.
It's so funny. It's like, it's super serious because he is saving all the people and the mansion, explodes. But it's also hilarious because how he does it, he like goes and combs hair and grabs the dog with the pizza.
Yeah, he throws people up in the air. Yeah, and with the pizza, he takes all the pizza first and then goes back for the dog.
It's just great.
He grabs a soda. Yeah. And in that's another thing that's really interesting. I think they juggle tone in the X-Men movies really interestingly. Like in that moment, all that stuff that's going on with Quicksilver, Havoc died.
Oh, yeah.
Like in that moment. But you're like not even thinking about it because you see it happen. You're like, oh, I'm not really sure.
Right.
And then
I know that was surprising, but I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we saw more of him, honestly, than I thought we would. I was glad they switched that, too. I believe in the comics, Havoc is the younger brother of Cyclops.
I don't know for sure, but
they switched that up. And I really liked the kid who played Scott. I really liked, I loved Nightcrawler.
Yep.
And I thought Scott was almost like, he reminded me of like Emilio Estevez in The Breakfast Club.
Really?
Yeah. Like I felt, that was the other thing. They did the whole 80s thing so well.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like all the music cues that, dude, right at the Quicksilver scene when it started and Sweet Dreams Are Made of These when that started, I was like, oh my gosh, dude.
Crap.
So perfect. Yep. And Angels holed up in a warehouse listening to Metallica. Yeah. Like, oh, dude.
He was so like dark there. Like it was, it was funny.
It was so good. I loved that. So yeah, Scott reminded me of that kind of feel, and I liked that, like with the glasses and the jacket, and just, I don't know, I felt like the movie, I mean, obviously it took place in the 80s, but they just captured that really well. Yeah. And I liked that feel of it. And I like Scott as a character. Like, I could see him becoming the Cyclops that we've already seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's already getting like the group together, you know, like when they go to the mall, he's the one like, let's go, guys.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. He's like, come on, guys, let's go. When Xavier's trying to get him to use his powers, and he's like, just look anywhere. It's not, you know, and then he slices that tree in half, and he's like, my grandfather planted that tree, played on it as a child. Yeah, so there's a lot of little stuff like that. It was, I mean, it was long. It was 2.5 hours.
Yep, I think a great length. It's
perfect.
There's so many characters they have to balance and so many like different stories they want to tell within that I think the 2-hour length was fine.
And how do you feel about how the characters were handled? Because one point of criticism I heard was that certain characters didn't get enough time, namely Angel and Psylocke.
Yes, well, Angel, I personally don't care about very much. I don't know his story, and I just don't care about him. I think he's cool, but meh. And Psylocke, I was very upset we didn't get to see her very much.
I think we will, though.
Right, you were talking about X-Force.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like, you know, so there's a post-credit scene. We're jumping around a little bit, but there's a post-credit scene where they show, is it Essex Corps is written on the briefcase. Of some men that go into the facility, Stryker's facility, and they're taking Weapon X's blood, which we need to talk about that.
Yep.
And I was just reading about it. Essex, Nathaniel Essex is Mr. Sinister, who does a lot with like, I think running tests on mutants and stuff like that, experiments. And he had, I believe, if I remember correctly, he was involved in the creation of Cable, who's going to be in Deadpool 2. So there were some thoughts that there might be some crossover there. And I thought Psylocke was part of the X-Force.
Could be. I don't know who's part of it, but I was reading the description for the movie because it's in development right now, and it said a time traveler gathers a team of mutants to help save the future.
For what movie?
X-Force.
That's happening?
Yeah. It's in development and stuff. They don't really have any actors. They have a few people thrown up there, but
I was just speculating. That's sweet. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So I heard we were going to get a quick little Wolverine.
Yeah, it was
cameo.
Very hush hush. Nobody knew exactly what it was going to be.
Dude, nobody told me it was going to be like the most iconic Wolverine scene ever. Like they nailed that.
Nailed it.
He looked amazing. It was brutal. That whole, I mean, the moment with Jean where she's like calming him down.
Yep.
And it's like, dude,
just everything. Yeah, it was perfectly like. It was just perfectly Wolverine, I think. You know, it was violent. He went into like his animal instinct form.
Yes.
You know,
and that was the only time we've seen him like that. Because I was talking to Rachel about. She's like, well, I think they do that in Origins, where he's like, but they don't. In Origins, they apply the adamantium, and then he hears Stryker saying like, erase his memory, and then he wakes up and he flips out and kills everyone and runs away.
Okay.
So this is the only time we really got to see that like animal version of Wolverine, where he's like been locked up.
Right.
The Weapon X version, you know. Jean throughout the whole movie is sort of underwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, she's just a kid. It's whatever. And we hear a little bit about how there's more power inside of her and all this stuff. I did not expect her to go full Phoenix at the end of the movie. And it was like just glorious.
It was beautiful.
I mean, that whole... I guess to speak back to the thing about Angel, I definitely feel like we're going to see more of Psylocke. I think that's obvious. We're going to see more of her. Angel, I feel like was kind of used as, I mean, he's one of the most well-known horsemen, and I liked what they did with him. I thought he was, I liked his overall character type, that kind of like, you know, whatever, like 80s rebel.
Right.
And then I thought he looked pretty cool as Archangel. But he was just kind of an in and out character. And Storm, though, I thought we got some cool background on Storm.
Yeah.
I really liked her performance. I don't know the actress's name. I apologize, but she was great. And all that to say, that end scene when they're all coming against Apocalypse, you and I were talking about this the other day. I cared about every single character in that scene, which I felt like was a major feat.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the least about Psylocke and Angel, but I was bummed to see when Angel was killed because I wanted to see more of him.
Right.
Psylocke, we just don't know a whole lot about. Magneto is having this like revelation. You know, he decides to side with his friends. Even goes so far as to say that he betrayed them when he decides to go against Apocalypse. Mystique tries to kill him by disguising herself as Psylocke,
Which was crazy. I
didn't
even click.
I was like, whoa, what's going on? Then we have Scott attacking him. We have Beast going after him, and
Storm comes in.
And Storm, she's watching. They're like, what was going on right there? She's watching Apocalypse, who she's been with this whole time, and then she sees Mystique, like, and she freaks out because Mystique's like her hero. You know what I mean? So, and she doesn't act right away, which is amazing. So she's like watching, and you see her like, oh no, like what's going on here? And then they wait and wait and wait, and when that bolt of lightning finally comes in, I was like, yes, it's so amazing. Like, and they're all just coming against Apocalypse.
And I mean, everybody in that scene is fighting. You know, Xavier's fighting him in his mind on top of everybody else.
Please talk about that.
It was cool.
It was so cool. All right, fine.
You had a good point with it. I'll let you talk about it.
Xavier is one of those characters where you never really see him fight.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this was such a cool way where the one thing Apocalypse lacks is, what's the word? Omniscience, like being everywhere and everyone at one time. So he's trying to get into Xavier to maintain his power. So Xavier starts fighting back, and we get this amazing scene of them having like this like telepathic battle. But it starts off with Xavier just standing up, just punching Apocalypse over and over again.
Too.
Right, that's what I mean.
Great.
There's no powers, like he's not like blasting him across the room. He's just punching him, and it's like, yes, like you never see Xavier do that. And that whole depiction, I just love that, like them when he's like, you're in my house now, and they're like in the mansion, and then the way they reveal Jean becoming Phoenix at the end, when he's like, when Xavier's like, you know, you're going to lose because you're alone and I'm not, and then Jean walks out, and it's like I said, just glorious, and she keeps walking, and then she's walking on air, and then she phoenixes so hard, and it's just friggin' awesome.
It was so cool, and I absolutely loved when Magneto like started helping, like the big X that comes.
Oh yeah,
that was just like, I got goosebumps because it was such a cool way to show it, like X. I was like, oh, beautiful.
That's right. It was a nice little nuance right there.
Yep. So it was awesome. It was just overall a really, really good X-Men movie.
I mean, maybe I'll get crucified for this, but I thought it was on par with like MCU.
Yeah.
I think easily. Like
it was funny. It was very serious. It had great action. It is totally. I mean, it's part of the Marvel universe. You know.
I was just so like, it ended, and I was like, that. I don't even know. what to say right now. Like, I was just so amped on it.
Yeah, and it's great because all the past movies did an awesome job of giving us like perspective on the characters,
yes,
and giving us a time and chance to love these characters.
Right.
So this movie just, it was just everything we love about the characters and more.
Yeah, it was the first, like, in a way. Well, it's not. I was going to say it's the first time we get to see like a story with all these characters that we know, because First Class was kind of an introduction to new versions of characters we knew. Days of Future Past was like this crossing over / undoing, and this was like the first story moving forward from the place that we've been brought back to. But it was just great. I loved the movie in general. Again, the post-credit scene was curious. I'm not sure what we're gonna see next, but this was. I mean, I honestly wasn't sure. I'm still not sure if it was better than Days of Future Past. I mean, they're both kind of right there for me. This is fresh and new. I just saw it.
Right.
But, I mean, I was emotional through the whole movie, man. Like, really, like, on the edge of, like, like sometimes tears, sometimes I just wanted to scream. I was like, it was just so intense, and the costumes looked amazing.
Yes,
that was the other thing I wanted to say. Storm looked dope. Psylocke was like, that's what Psylocke.
Oh my god,
like.
exactly to a T.
You know what I mean?
Like her costume was great,
right? And I thought Apocalypse looked cool. I mean, I just thought everyone looked dope. Yep. Nightcrawler looked great. He was really funny. So yeah, I loved X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really good as well. I don't know what anybody's talking about. It got a 52 Metascore, but a 7.4, I think, for a user review. So I think it's one of those audience versus critic type things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how critically it's like. I saw a couple headlines that just blew my mind. Like, there was one headline that was like, X-Men Apocalypse is what happens when a studio runs out of ideas. And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, how are you, like, what are you not connecting with? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it was because I feel like this film was like a mixture of iconography and.
What'd you say?
Like iconic, like, costumes and characters done well and almost like fan service. Like, this is what people want.
This is like the culmination of everything X-Men.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But also with like a really beautiful story behind like pretty much every character. Like, I loved seeing Storm. I loved, like, and we only get bits of her, but we see that she's kind of a
loner.
No, well, like the way she uses her powers to steal, and she, you know what I mean? Like, she's a survivor, I guess. And then you see that, and then you see Apocalypse come to her, and she's just a girl, and she's trying to, like, she's just a young girl, and she tries to tell Apocalypse, like, this is what the world is like. You can't just go around killing people, blah, blah, blah. And then you see her arc is enough for me to, like, be connected with her and want to see how she, becomes who she becomes. And then Magneto's story and Xavier and, like, just everybody. So how is anyone, like, this is what happens when you run out of ideas? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know if I'm being blinded by something. I mean, someone can let me know and I'll happily ignore you. But this is like, I feel like this was a film of such great magnitude and like just like a success.
Yeah.
Like, freaking boss. I don't know.
Yeah,
dude.
I agree for sure. It was top. It was top notch.
Now I wonder. Okay, so there's a moment where the kids all go to the movies and they're seeing Return of the Jedi, right? And they're walking out and they're having a discussion about which one was the best. And I think it's Gene that says, "Well, we can all agree that the third one's always the worst."
I loved that.
So okay, but then I was thinking about it afterwards. Did Singer do First Class and Days of Future Past?
Yes.
Okay, so technically this is his third of this new trilogy, which, first of all, I don't know if they're considering it a trilogy. Technically it is.
I've heard it's the First Class trilogy. Like, this is the end of this trilogy, whatever it is.
In that case, this is like one of the best third films of a trilogy I've ever seen. First of all, we'll point that out. Second of all, I'm curious whether he's like making a joke about himself, like, here's the common perspective, but watch how awesome my movie is. Or if that's a straight dig at Brett Ratner, who did The Last Stand.
I think that's what it is.
You think so?
I for sure think. At least it's funnier to me that way.
Yeah, I think it was mostly a joke for the crowd. Like, obviously, we know what they're talking about either way. But I just, that's how I first took it, was like, oh, like The Last Stand, haha. But even though I like The Last Stand, I still get, like, you know, what they're doing. And it was funny. It was really well done. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, it also kind of works two ways, because this is his third film in this trilogy. And maybe he's, like, saying, like, watch me destroy this presupposition that, like, this movie is going to be awesome, you know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
Ah,
I have one more thing.
Please.
In X-Men.
Yeah.
I really like how it ended with the new team, all the characters that are part of the team. Because, you know, Days of Future Past rewrote the history and the future and that stuff. So now we're on an alternate timeline. Yeah. You know, where Mystique is, as of right now, not a villain. She's, you know, the face of mutant kind, and she's part of the X-Men. Yep. And then, that's it. I just really like this new team that they set up with, let's see, Quicksilver, and Mystique, and then, you know, Nightcrawler,
Cyclops.
Yeah, the usual X-Men, and then two new characters, Quicksilver and Mystique, who I bet have been on the team at some point in the comics.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
But you know, if they're setting this up for the next movie, everyone on the team is great.
So cool, man. Nightcrawler's always been my favorite X-Man, and I just am so excited about. I don't know. I just love that character. Yeah, and I want his powers. I'll be blue. That's fine.
There you are. That's a picture of you behind you.
Yeah, I do have a picture of Nightcrawler on the wall.
Also, one more thing. Then I'm done.
No, it's fine. I might not be.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
When do you think of Xavier losing his hair? Did you feel like that was like just something to like satisfy the crowd, or do you think they did it well?
I'm cool with it. Yeah, I mean, I think again, it was a little fan servicey, like, but I mean, but it's a good way to move into like the next. I guess, like, era of X-Men, you know, like I think it was good. Yeah. I don't think it was like, I was wondering how they were going to get there, because they showed him with no hair in the previews. Right. And it was like, oh, that's kind of a weird, like, how did they get there?
Why would he shave his head at the end of the movie or
something?
Right.
Like, is it just going to be like, now I'm more mature? Like, you know what I mean? But I thought it was actually cool, because it's almost like he's bearing the mark of the beginning of the real X-Men. Right. You know, because even... I think, is it in this? I get them a little mixed up because I just watched them all. But is it in this movie where they have the conversation about? Yeah, I think it's Mystique and Hank Beast, where one of them's like, he doesn't want soldiers, he wants students now, and they're talking about, like, Hank's like, he wants the X-Men. He thinks the world needs the X-Men, but he's like, you know, Xavier wants students, not soldiers. And then at the end, it's like Apocalypse is what brought them together to be like, all right, there is a need for this. And so I think it was cool. Yeah. Did you have any issue with that?
No, I was just like you said, I was very curious to see how they were going to do it. Right. And I think it's a good, like, reminder of Apocalypse. Like,
right. Yeah. It's like this mark, like a scar. Almost.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm curious, like, well, the only other thing is, won't he grow hair back, or is it just gone forever? Because that's what Apocalypse was. He was bald, too, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume we're not going to see hair on him again, which is kind of funny, because are we going to see more bald James McAvoy?
I know. I'm curious, like, what the next movie is going to be. I haven't heard anything.
Because what's planned to come, I think, is kind of outside of this... like core team. You know, we're going to see the Wolverine movie, the third one. Which, did you hear they confirmed Xavier's in it?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and Patrick Stewart. So...
Which is cool that they're getting him.
Keeping the... Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. So that's going to take place in the future, which... Okay, so there are a few things that I'm almost not sure what to disregard anymore. Like, what's part of the current timeline and what's not. So Days of Future Past rebooted a ton of stuff, right? So are we to assume that this version of Angel is just different than the one in The Last Stand?
I think so. I think The Last Stand, certain points, it's tough. Like, certain points you have to count as canon, but other things you don't.
And that's what's confusing, because The Last Stand takes place in the, you know, quote unquote, not too distant future or whatever. And this one takes place in the 80s. Like, we're definitely in the 80s. So... But this angel looks almost the same age as the one as...
And there could be two angels. Or did we check they were both the same name?
They're the same.
Same character.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I feel like that's just something that we have to disregard. Like we have to assume in this universe, for some reason, he was born earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he could have been a little younger. I don't know. He looked like the same, and like obviously it's the same character. But again, that's a symptom of The Last Stand being like, this is the last one. Let's just throw in some characters, like maybe not that frivolously, but like let's get characters in here that people want to see because this is the last one. I think Angel was one of those characters because they didn't really do much with him in The Last Stand.
No,
he saves his dad at one point.
I remember he like is chopping off.
Oh, that scene is actually like still hard to watch.
It's pretty brutal.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I liked what they did with him because I thought, can I just say the politics of X-Men are too real?
Oh my God.
Like it's like it's the Holocaust basically. Like it's people being exiled and the government trying to figure out how to keep a certain race of people down. And it's like, honestly, it's hard to watch, especially with a lot of the social justice issues that have been kicked up lately, like in modern day, that have always been around, but now there's attention on them. It's like, dude, it's just too real. And it makes me hate the politicians in these movies so much, which is the point, Right. But it's just so hard to watch.
And it's crazy because that story is old, but it's funny to think that that's been a problem for, centuries, or not centuries, but it could be. But, whenever the X-Men comics came out, 80s maybe? Probably even earlier.
I think it was earlier. Yeah, I'm not sure when the first one came out.
But those stories were written with the same idea. Just a certain race of people being, I guess, rejected.
Yep.
And that still applies today. So it's just crazy how well it works. How much of a reflection it is on us.
Yeah, and I think it's in The Last Stand when they go back to Bobby Drake's house. Because that's when Xavier dies, and Bobby Drake's brother calls the cops on him because he comes out as a mutant.
Right.
And his family's like, have you tried not being a mutant? Like, their main issue is that he is this way, and they're not concerned about him as a person. Like, it's painted as like, oh my gosh, you're a mutant, like the world's over. All of a sudden, you're not a human anymore. So, like, the politics of that are just so, like, I'm watching it and I'm like, it's so cringy because it's so real. Like, it's just, it's kind of crazy. Another quick thing. So, Days of Future Past, right? And even in this movie, they show flashbacks of Magneto as a boy. So he's probably, 10, 12 years old in World War II?
Yep.
1944? So this movie takes place in 84?
That's probably about right.
Something around there.
Yeah.
So we're looking at about 40 years, right? Magneto should be like 52.
Right.
Fassbender does not look 52.
Not at all.
Neither does Xavier, who was also a kid at that time, because that's when he meets Mystique.
Right.
Now, Mystique, we know, ages differently. It's never explicitly said that Xavier and Magneto age differently.
Right.
Just a thing.
I get it.
I don't know.
It's probably just because they wanted to keep the actors. And
I mean, at some point, it just is what it is. Like, they're going to want to do these major stories from the books, and they're going to take place in a certain time period, I mean, and like you said, you're not going to replace the actors every time you need someone who's a little bit older,
right,
or whatever, but there are certain things like that, and because of all the mixed up timelines, there are all kinds of like internet journalists trying to pick apart the series, and obviously like fans too, like I'm watching it like, well, I don't know about this, but overall, like, I think they've done pretty well considering all the like crazy timeline business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they have a lot of movies to, keep in line with, I guess. So
yeah. And a lot of it does line up, honestly. Like, a lot of it stays pretty consistent. Although Origins, I don't know, what are we supposed to just disregard that movie pretty much?
Regard that as the top movie.
Dude.
Best one ever.
I don't know.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's probably awful, but I still like it.
It's like, heart. It's just some of the things they did, man. Adamantium Bullet, I can't. Whatever. X-Men Apocalypse was unbelievable.
It's not apocalyptic.
No. I'll probably see it again and want to talk about it again. Because I only saw it the once, and there was so much, dude. It's like, yeah, it was just so much.
It was so good.
I feel exhausted.
Because you poured your heart out. for this film.
I don't even know if I said anything worthwhile. I just
I appreciate it.
Dude, I was amped. I was so amped afterwards. You can ask Rachel. I was like, whoa!
Dude, you came up to my room and you were like, oh my God!
I was freaking out, dude. I'm texting people. I'm like, friggin' X-Men. It's so good, dude.
But I agree 100%. It is an amazing film. It's just great. It's great.
Man, so good. If you hated this movie, let us know because I want to talk about it. And you're wrong.
Wrongies.
Can you be wrong with an opinion?
Yes.
Yes, moving on.
We're going to jump to games,
yes,
I think.
Let's get to games. All right, I have actually a lot of video game stuff to talk about this week.
Well, I mean, it was E3 week, so it's...
Yeah, that's true.
Of course.
So,
a lot of things.
X-Men Apocalypse was so good.
Yeah, that's my favorite game.
What if they made a game?
It probably sucked.
Yeah, it probably would suck.
Unless it was Origins.
Origins was so good.
That was probably the best
If you haven't played the X-Men Origins Wolverine game, that game is boss. You need to play it.
Top notch.
Yeah, totally. No joke. But for realsies, I beat Ori and the Blind Forest.
What'd you think?
I loved it. What I don't love is that it's over now and I can't go back.
You can't go back.
I can't even play my game anymore.
You can't go back?
No. You can't. I can't even go get some of the stuff.
I thought
it won't let me back in. I have to start a new game.
That's so ridiculous.
I know.
Wow, I guess I remember that, but I thought you could go back before you enter the mountain.
I'll have to show you later. Maybe I'm wrong, but I tried to select my game, and when you go, because the credits rolled and I was out of the menu and everything.
Yep.
And then I go back in and I go to select the game, and it's just a picture of Ori, and it says completed, and it won't let you.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, so you can't go back in.
That's why they have the definitive edition or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Because
I was like, oh, that's a bummer, but I mean. It's cool. I'm not always a 100%er anyways, but I wanted to go back and see what I could get because I didn't even max out all of my stats.
Right. Yep.
Or all of my abilities. And there's another, we talked about the water, is it the water? No.
Are you talking about the tree where the water?
The tree, the water's rising, you have to get out.
That place nightmares.
So there's another one with wind, I think. And basically, the best way I can explain this is I'm looking at the map, and if I go to the right, there's this big dark area that I haven't gone to yet. If I go to the left, there's another dark area that I haven't gone to yet. So I'm like, oh, I'll go to the left first. I go to the left, and it's like a story progressing checkpoint that I cannot go back from.
Oh.
So I have no idea what was in that big dark area, and now the game's over. So I can't. I mean,
why would they make it like that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a short enough game. I mean,
nobody's gonna want to go through it again. I mean, it's good, but
it's a good game. But yeah, I mean, same thing. I'd much rather be able to go back and play from where I finished.
And that's common practice for a lot of games,
right?
Especially that type of game where it's all about exploration and getting as many collectibles and things that you need.
And this game is it's not story wise that wouldn't make sense because I just restored the forest. So now, in certain areas, there's a wind that gusts up that I can ride with this feather that I have. So I could go back and go higher than I could earlier in the game. It's not like the forest got destroyed, so it wouldn't make any sense for me to go back. You know what I mean? Some games have, when it ends, it wouldn't make sense for you to be able to go back. This one, I should be able to. But that being said, the game was awesome. I loved the story. It's cool, man. Like I said before, it almost felt like playing a Miyazaki film.
Yeah.
It's very fantastical, but there's a really cool and clear story and plot line, and it was really good. Yeah.
I
enjoyed it.
I agree 100%. I'm gonna go through it again on the definitive edition because it does have bonus levels and bonus cutscenes.
Really?
That I don't know what they are, but
oh, cool.
If you own Ori, you can get it. I think it was $5. I don't know if they're still doing it anymore, but you could upgrade.
I'll have to check,
and that fixed a lot of things. You could go back into areas because there was a teleport now a fast travel, so you could go back to the inside of the tree and stuff. So they fixed it, but it's stupid that they didn't go back and fix it in the old game, like do an update, you know.
I mean, it's like I said, I'm not always 100%er anyways, but it's hard because once you get past that point, that's that. Because you can't even, if you get to the point where you hit a checkpoint and it's a timed level essentially, like you have to get out before you're hit with magma or, falling debris or water or whatever, you can't even go to your checkpoint prior to that because now your checkpoint is the start of this rushed level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you can't even go back. Like when I missed that big dark area to the right, I couldn't even like restart and check that out first because if I restarted, it just brought me to that point where I had to rush out. So that was a little bit of a, I don't know if I want to call it a flaw, but it's a mechanic of the game that I didn't love because I was like, oh no, like I can't go back there.
Right. You wouldn't have known like if you went right or because you went left, you didn't know that was a story section. And
there's no way to know.
And you're like, well, okay.
Yeah. Exactly, but it was really cool. There's a really cool puzzle in the getting I forget what it's called. It's like the firestone at the end. I don't know if you remember. There's like a magma puzzle where you have to go into a door. It's almost like a puzzle within a puzzle because
you have to go to like different rooms, right? And get different.
Yeah, so
things.
like you have to basically climb to the top of this area, and there's magma everywhere. So it's a puzzle in itself to try to figure out because the way the game works is you'll gain an ability that you can. It's called bash. So you can grab onto an enemy. You can grab onto an enemy or one of their projectiles and launch yourself up. And you have to time it in a way, and then in a certain way to get to a certain area, and then you hover with another ability that you have. And basically you have to get all the way to the top, and then you go into a room, and there's a puzzle to get like across, like you have to like it'll be the type of thing where you have to pull a lever, and that'll block the magma for a second, and in that second you have to cross back over to pull a lever that's now on the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the point of each room, and I think there's 3 or 4 on either side of the whole level. There's a left and a right, directions. And the point of each room is to cut off the magma feed, and then it'll allow you to get into the room below it because now this stream of lava that was falling isn't there anymore.
Right.
That's a long explanation of what the level's like, but it was super cool solving those puzzles to basically get your way to the end.
It took me a long time to do that part.
Really?
Yeah, it was just a lot of puzzle solving, and a lot of times I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
But it was still cool. I remember it took me a long time.
Do you know what your finish time was on it?
I'd have to check. It was probably high 8. Like 8 hours, maybe probably a little more.
See, I want to see, but now I don't know if it'll show me or not. It must show me my stats. That would be stupid if it doesn't.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm not convinced.
It's been stupid at other points.
So just quickly, since I beat that, I went and saw what other Xbox One games I had because I wanted to start another one. I almost started Banjo-Kazooie because I have that on the rare replay, but I decided to start the Telltale Game of Thrones. So I'm in chapter 3. I don't know. You were listening to me play it earlier. And I just wanted to start it up because I only have episode 1.
That one has 6, I think.
6, yeah. And I know I can't really afford to buy the rest of it, so I'm just going to play up through what I have now.
The good thing to Telltale, though, is each episode's $5.
Yeah, it's really not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah. And, if there's 6 episodes times 5, $30. It's not the worst for a game. But I've been avoiding it just because I haven't watched the series yet.
Right. And I kind of I've never seen Game of Thrones. I've never read Game of Thrones. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to jump into this because all the other Telltale properties I've played, I know of the property prior. You know what I mean? I actually haven't played Wolf Among Us yet, but I'm a huge Fables fan. And
that's a joy.
I cannot wait.
People really like that, and so do I, and I know you will for sure.
I can't wait, dude. That might be one of the next ones I play. But Game of Thrones so far is really cool. I really like probably everything that everyone else likes about Game of Thrones, but the story so far is really cool, and it's just kind of building. And it's been a while since I've played a Telltale game, but their style is so consistent. Like, I love that they have their own style of game that can translate to almost any universe or storyline. and you use your conversations to learn more. And it's great. I really love Telltale games in general.
They've had a good streak of good games. They did Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh yeah, I haven't played that,
and that was awesome, hilarious. It was just, I think it's one of their top games. Like,
really,
it was really good.
I skipped that because I haven't played Borderlands yet.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. It's probably good to play Borderlands.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a better experience if I had.
And then they had Walking Dead, which was amazing, season 1 and 2.
I didn't play 2 yet.
Oh, dude. Anyways, and then Wolf Among Us, and they have a Minecraft one that's still going on. Yeah,
that's interesting.
And that one is pretty good. It's not their best, but I like it.
Didn't they do a Michonne one too?
Yes. Oh, I totally forgot about that one.
Was that separate from?
That is separate from The Walking Dead that they have already. It's it was 3 episodes. It was just kind of her story, like what she was doing before she met up with everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. I have one more game to talk about, but it's just a quick, funny thing. So you can go first. Let's get into some E3 business. Because I can see you freaking out over here.
E3
I'm stoked too. It's blowing my mind.
This is I think, one of my favorite times of year because I get to see all the games that people are working on, and a lot of the times they do release dates, and you just get to know everything all at one go.
Yeah, it's a lot of
and
awesome
to me,
stuff.
I get it's just like a 3-day adventure.
And it's interesting. I'm thinking about it. There's not really another medium that you get anything like that.
That's what I was thinking. Like movies, we kind of get Comic-Con, but it's not on the level of E3.
That's true. There's Comic-Con,
but like music, I don't know.
You don't get magazines and stuff. You'll get normal promo stuff, but you don't get a big event. We get events for after stuff's out. You get the Grammys, you get award shows and stuff, but you don't get a big music convention with a bunch of artists being like, this is what we're working on, here's a preview of our song. Or a bunch of filmmakers saying, this is what we're working on, we're working on this sequel or whatever. Comic-Con's a good one because they're reveals, but they're still just trailers.
Yeah. And that's what it is at E3.
Yeah,
there's a lot of gameplay, and at E3 people can go and play all the games. That's the point of the convention, for people to test and give feedback to the developers.
Right.
And at Comic-Con, it's not like you get to see the whole movie. You get to see a trailer, and that's it. So I get what you're saying. E3 is kind of its own beast, and it's
and like you said, what's exciting about it is now you have all this stuff to look forward to.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Everything else, it's just you might get a preview, and sometimes you get it a year in advance. But
they show off some things that are 2 or 3 years away, but they want to give you a taste so you know it's coming.
Sure.
And it's, I don't know, to me it's just so exhilarating. It's
why is it called E3?
It's entertainment something expo. It's 3 E's in the title. It's
Electronics.
Yes.
So what did they say?
So, I just have this huge list, and it's definitely not close to everything, but...
Should we just go down and talk about how awesome each of them are?
Yes. So we were talking about Telltale, so I'll start with there.
Oh.
Telltale Batman.
Oh!
They've, that wasn't... They revealed that a little before E3, but it's part of the hype.
I'm still that excited.
Yeah, they have screenshots and stuff. What would you want it to be where you could be a bad Batman, an evil Batman, and a, Batman... would you like the option to
Why'd you just say Batman so many times?
I know, it's bad Batman, evil, good Batman, bat.
I wasn't sure what the last Batman was for. I was like, did I miss part of the question?
Nope.
So, right, because in a lot of the Telltale games, you can kind of take one angle or the other.
Yes. Would you be interested to see, a Batman that kills or makes bad decisions?
Sure, I'd be interested to see that more anti-hero Batman. You could make the choice to go that way. Although I almost feel like most people would do that because you don't see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'd be curious to see if the story was set up in a way that something is happening where Batman could kind of lose it and you could go the way of the anti-hero who starts killing everybody.
Yeah.
That would be interesting for sure. Have they said anything about it, or
not much? They are basically they showed some screenshots, and I think they showed a trailer, but I didn't see the trailer. But it's just exciting that Telltale is doing a Batman game.
I imagine it being very detective-y.
Yes, yep, and Telltale is very good at the point-and-click adventure type. So I think Batman fits very well in that.
It's cool, man. I'm excited about that.
And the other Telltale thing was Walking Dead Season 3.
Oh man,
I gotta
play 2.
Did you see the trailer?
No.
Okay, I probably shouldn't talk about it because it does kind of have spoilers for Season 2.
All right.
But
I have a list.
Yes, let me just say it was amazing, and it totally feeds me enough. I think it's coming out this summer.
Well, that's the other thing we were saying. A lot of the games, at least that Sony previewed, are like they'll be out in a couple months.
Oh my god! Yeah, the release dates. They make my heart flutter.
The Walking Dead. You can keep talking. I just started a list of games I need to play.
Walking Dead Season 2, Season 3. All right, so I'll jump to... Oh, Batman VR was announced.
Dude, I was going to say, lots of Batman news.
Lots of Batman
That's crazy.
News. They just said Batman VR. That was the trailer, like, wear the cowl.
I watched it the other day. I watched the trailer, and I don't know why I was expecting to see some gameplay, because obviously it's not time for that yet. But I'm just dying to see what it's going to look like, man. And that is an aspect... we were talking recently about VR movies, and I guess this is going to be close to it, where you get to be the character, and I don't know, like VR, I always imagine like... I, for some reason, haven't thought about putting it in the context of a well-known property. You know what I mean? Like being Batman. I haven't thought about that kind of thing.
I don't know how that could work. It was showed for PlayStation VR, which you can use the Move controllers, but you can also have a normal controller.
Okay.
So it could be first-person Batman, but you use a controller, to move around and stuff.
Right.
So you basically just get the view with the headset. Or it could be you use these to punch and stuff, like they have the wands.
Okay.
So I don't know what they're going with it, because
right.
one of the troubles with VR right now is movement. Because you can't just walk around your room and it'll track you,
Just smashing the stuff.
Exactly.
That is a hilarious concept.
Yeah, certain headsets do have that. There's the HC Vive or whatever.
Okay.
That one has like things where you can move around and it tracks you, but a lot of games have you teleport. You like use the controller, hold a button, and then look in that direction, and you'll teleport there.
Okay.
And that's how they're doing it with a lot of games, because you can't walk around for the most part.
Right.
So I'm curious what Batman's going to be like. I think it's going to be a controller where you move,
that would make the most sense.
You move around, but use your head as Batman and press buttons to fight and stuff.
And it's probably, you think it'll be like 360 camera mechanics, where like you look around and you see different things. I feel like that's going to be what's significant about it. Because it's not just like wearing the TV on your face. It's like being there more.
Right.
I mean?
So, they didn't show much about it, so I can't say too much more. But I'm
exciting,
excited.
though. Yeah.
VR, it's top for me.
That is the first VR announcement that I've been like, oh, crap, I kind of want one. Like, because honestly, before I'm just kind of like, I'm cool with what I have.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool, like... They're almost like party games. They're like little snippets of games where they're like 1 or 2 levels, and that's the VR experience.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for those, but this seems like it's going to be a game.
Like a fleshed out, like full game. Yeah, for sure.
Do you have anything you want to talk about before?
No, dude, keep it going. Let's stay on the E3 train.
Okay, so I decided to have like my top 3 E3 games.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about one of them called Recore. Have you heard anything about this?
No, only from you the other day. We were talking briefly about it.
Yes, so this is from the creator of Mega Man.
Yes, okay.
And the team behind Metroid Prime 3 and that canceled Mega Man game Maverick Hunter.
The FPS?
Yes.
No way.
So what I was reading about it is they're using assets from Maverick Hunter into Recore.
This was the resurrection E3. That's so awesome.
So this game, I am just like so excited for.
Yeah.
It's a third-person action-adventure platforming game.
Okay.
Where you play as this girl. Her name is Jewel, I want to say.
That's fine.
I don't remember her name, but she looks like Ray before. Nice face. She looks like Ray when she's, in the desert planet, whatever planet she's on.
Yeah.
So she has that look, like a raider, I guess.
Yeah.
And she has this little like core orb with her.
Okay.
It's her buddy, and she can use that core and put it in, like she can create robots with the core.
Robots?
And she can use that robot buddy of hers to help her with like fighting and getting to places and stuff.
Sweet.
But I don't know. There's just something about it. I'm just excited who's working on it. The creator of Mega Man.
The creator of Mega Man?
The creator. He did Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, and then the X games, Mega Man X.
Oh, wow.
So, and the team behind Metroid Prime 3, whatever they're called, I don't remember what it is. But, those are some of my favorite games, Mega Man, Metroid. Good. So it's going to have all that feeling in it. I don't know what else to say. It looks awesome. Check out the trailer. I'll probably have it here in the video right now, showing off gameplay and stuff. But
yeah.
It just looks so good. Xbox exclusive, and I think Windows 10. Xbox and Windows 10.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, so that's one of my top 3 just because I'm like,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Let's see, I'll just jump to Battlefield 1. Have you heard anything
I've never
about that?
played any Battlefield games.
Yeah, I've played them all, and they're really cool. They are spectacular. And this one's going back to World War I.
Okay.
Which hasn't been done in a long time in video games.
That is interesting, yeah.
It's been World War II.
Always World War II, yeah.
Yep, for a long time, and then we jumped to like the future, modern, and then future warfare. So this looks really, really good.
Yeah?
It's like, even for people who aren't into the first-person shooters and don't play Call of Duty and Battlefield, this looks like a good one to get into because it just looks like a really cool World War I story.
So there'll be a campaign, we'll imagine?
Yes, yeah. They have the campaign and multiplayer looks awesome, but I just thought I'd bring it up because it looks cool.
That is interesting. I can't think of a game that's gone back to World War I. I mean, did any of the Call of Duties?
I think one of them did. I don't know which one, but I think there was World War I at some point. But it's such a different war between World War II.
Right. Everyone just wants to kill Nazis.
Exactly.
That's why we're always in World War II.
Yeah, I know. I wonder who the enemy is in World War I. I don't remember who it was initially. Was it Germans? It was still Germans. They weren't Nazis, though. It was Germans and...
You're making me look real dumb right now.
That's okay. I'm not the best, which is funny because I wanted to be a history teacher. Initially.
Really?
Yeah, I was growing up. I was always very interested in archaeology and history.
What?
Yeah, it was like it was. I don't know. It was just always.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah,
You wanted to be a teacher?
Well, more of like a professor. I think a professor would be a cooler title.
So you want to teach college?
Yes.
Because that's even bigger.
I know. But,
wow,
yeah.
That's cool. Is that what you're going to do?
No, I have no interest in it now. But that's what I was gearing towards. During high school, I did a lot of, social studies electives, history electives. So I wouldn't say I'm like super knowledgeable in it, but
yeah, see, I do love history. I am very stupid when it comes to history, though. I feel like I don't know anything, and it's mostly because I second guess myself. I don't trust when I start talking about countries and dates, and I just feel like I'm making stuff up.
Yeah, I get it. I get it for sure.
So video games,
yes. So that looks cool. Let's see. Have you ever played Quake?
No,
Quake?
Briefly on a PC, and I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, Quake's strange because it has only been on PC. It did come to Xbox 360, Quake 4, I think, or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
But a new Quake was announced, Quake Champions.
Okay.
And I realized I'm a massive fan of arena multiplayer shooters,
Yeah.
like Doom, like Unreal Tournament.
Sure.
For some reason, I love how fast paced and how quickly you respawn and the weapons on the maps. I don't know why. I'm just a gigantic fan of those.
It can get pretty intense. Maybe that's what you like about it. Actually, I just started Doom. We didn't talk about that,
yeah.
but I just started Doom the other day and got through the first 3 missions. Dude, it's intense.
Doom's sick.
It really is. And another thing about games like that is, so at the end of each Doom mission, you get to... There's sort of like a horde situation. You have to beat wave after wave of enemies. And I think that's another thing in the arena shooters. There's something to that tension of you know what I mean?
There's just so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that fast paced shooter vibe is always fun. If it can be borderline stressful, but it's
I love it. It is so it's like an adrenaline high.
Totally.
Going through because it's so fast. In
Doom, that's
you
the thing.
move 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, dude.
So I think that it helps. So Quake was exciting for me because that's another arena shooter that I can play.
Okay, yeah.
I think they only said it was for PC.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know for sure though. I'm gonna look into it more. But if that's the case, maybe I'll have to get a better PC to play it.
Might have to. I have a friend who's selling one.
How much?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to him.
$5?
He might take it.
All right. Let's jump to Ghost Recon. That was the one we were watching.
Oh yeah.
That looks spectacular.
That looks really good.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
because
what it's like.
It mixes elements of stealth, action, open world, just all in one. Which Metal Gear had that. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
That's what it looks a lot like. Metal Gear Solid 5, but 4-player co-op basically.
Yes.
So that was it. It just looked awesome, and I just want to talk about it because everyone should know about it. Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Wildlands, that's right. Yeah.
It's not coming out till March next year, though, so we got some time.
Yeah, good, because there's plenty of other stuff to play in the meantime.
Plenty. So there's another game called Steep. Have you heard about that one?
No, sir.
This is an extreme winter sports first-person game. So your face, you're like,
what?
So it's like the premise of the game is you're like just a group of extreme sports enthusiasts, I guess.
Okay, sure.
And you're just on the snowy mountain, and you can do extreme sport things. So you can snowboard, you can ski, you can paraglide, you can like wingsuit. And it can be third person or first person. Okay. And it looks awesome. Yeah. I've always, for some reason, wanted to play a first-person like snowboarding game or a first-person skiing game.
That's not really anything that's ever crossed my mind, I don't think.
To me, it just seems so exciting to be able to go down the mountain first person, and they showed like you can do flips and tricks, so in first person, you're like flying around.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That sounds like a cool VR experience.
It does, and they didn't say it was VR, though, unfortunately. They might do it. They might be working on it, but that might be like one of the few sports games I really like. Yeah. You know, and you can go and play with friends. You can edit and make videos because the premise is you have a GoPro on your head. That's the first person perspective. And it just looks awesome. You know, you're just doing extreme sports, but in the safety of your house.
Yeah, right. And that's going to be console? Or?
Yes. Yep. That's going to be, it's from Ubisoft. And it's going to be console, Xbox One, PS4, all that stuff.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. And super cool. Yeah, it's surprising because I don't like sports games at all.
What about SSX Tricky?
It's all right, but it's not first person. That's the thing.
What about Cool Borders 2?
I like that one.
Yeah. The demo, though.
The demo.
That's
the only thing that's good. Let's see. Oh, Dead Rising 4 was announced.
I only played one.
You only played one? Well, this is good because that's what 4 looks like. Almost a remake.
Really?
Yeah, because you're Frank West again. Mm-hmm. And it looks like a mixture of in the mall and outside the mall.
So it's like inside and outside.
Inside and outside. Well, because the first one, I guess you can go outside of the first one, but you were stuck in the mall, basically.
Yeah.
But this is during Christmas time. The whole theme is...
Yes.
So it's Christmas-based weapons. You know,
hilarious.
they have they had this like Christmas light gun basically, and he was shooting strands of lights at zombies, and they were all just covered in lights. It was pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
So, and that's just exciting because it's Dead Rising. Yeah, can't go wrong. So yeah, Tekken 7 just looks awesome. They showed off like the story, the like first mission in the campaign, and they have this really cool thing where it's showing the cutscene, and then it like seamlessly transitions into the gameplay. So like Akuma's jumping towards you, and then it's like press square now, and then you like block, you know, or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it takes you right into the battle, and then after you defeat Akuma, because you're playing as Hitachi or whatever his name is,
Heihachi.
Yeah, I don't know. So you like finish off Akuma, and then it like the camera spins and it goes right to the cutscene again.
Oh, sick.
And yeah, I don't know much about the story other than that Akuma and Hayachi, whatever his name, they know each other. Akuma knows something that Hayachi knows, and I don't know how it correlates.
That's awesome.
But it is awesome. I'm curious if we're gonna get more like Akuma story with it. You know,
dude, I feel like fighting games are all about cameos now.
That's
like what they do. Like I just put down. I forgot I didn't buy Mortal Kombat X yet. I still want to, and there's so much like. Isn't Jason in it now?
Yeah, Jason.
Freddy.
No, Freddy's not in this one.
What?
Nope.
What?
Who else? It was, I think, Alien and Predator.
Predator's definitely in it. But.
Is Alien in it? I'm pretty sure Alien's in it. Or the Predator has like an alien move, or the alien has Predator moves. Anyways.
Cameos, man.
Cameos.
All over the place.
That's all it is. So
that's pretty cool.
I wonder if Ryu's going to pop in somewhere, if they're going to have, Ryu and Akuma.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Anyways. That's awesome. That's exciting. I like it. The fighting games.
The fighting. So this is my number 2 in my top 3 E3 games, Last Guardian.
Oh, dude, I can't even believe it's real.
This game has had the worst luck.
What? Yeah, what is the deal?
It's been in development, it's
like the Firefly of video games.
It is.
Everybody wants it.
Everybody wants it, and it was scary for a while. They've been working on it, I want to say like 10 years. They've been working on it since Shadow of the Colossus.
At least, dude. When did that come out? I'm looking up Shadow of the Colossus. Keep talking.
Yeah. So this game finally has a release date this year, October. And
that's crazy.
That's crazy because this game has been just a legend. They keep for the past 5 E3s, they've been just showing off little gameplay tidbits and little story, and just it's had the development from hell because the team itself has been they made the story and worked on it for a while, and then they didn't like the story, so they redid it, they scrapped everything, started again, and then Sony didn't want to pay for it anymore, and they just had this crazy...
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and now it's finally here. It's right around the corner, and they are done with it.
Sorry, go ahead, finish.
I was just going to say it's just, it's going to be so good.
For anyone who doesn't know, Shadow of the Colossus is, if you follow the Keep Up, it's like my favorite game of all time because I say it all the time. But it's just an incredible, I think, easily the best PlayStation 2 game. It's one of the best games ever. It's got a 9.7 on IGN, 91% score on Metacritic, just to throw out there.
Oh, yeah, it's unanimous that people absolutely love this game.
Yep, and it's been out, it came out October 18th, 2005. So we're going on year 11, almost to the date, because it comes out in October, right?
Yep.
So, and its predecessor is Ico, which Ico came out first, right?
Yeah, it was Ico and then Shadow of the Colossus. And then The Last Guardian, which... they're kind of all part of the same universe, which is very exciting. Right. Ico has connections to Shadow of the Colossus.
I still haven't played Ico yet.
We got to do that.
I own it. I just haven't played through it yet.
Dude, it's spectacular.
I put it on my list.
Not as good as Shadow of the Colossus, but still part of, it's right up there.
Sure.
Everybody always talks about those two.
But it's a very different game, right?
Yeah, it's a lot different. It does have similar play style. A lot of climbing, a lot of fighting. That's what he does. He has a sword. I don't think there are any bosses in it, which is funny because Shadow.
Yeah, they made up for it in Shadow of the Colossus.
So yeah, this one, you play as a boy who looks like Ico, little boy, and you get this gigantic creature. It's like a dog and a bird and just a bunch of creatures mixed into this giant creature, and you have to go and just survive through adventures. I don't know a lot about it because I don't want to know a lot about it.
Yeah.
That's the type of game that you want to just experience and
yeah.
Yeah.
There's another that just made me think of another game.
Game?
I don't know if it's on your list, but the other announcement, I'll just let you get to it because I'm sure it's on your list. Here's one I don't know if it is. Did you see the God of War gameplay?
Yeah, that's actually next on my list, so
Dude,
that's great.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Which ones have you played, God of War?
I think I only played 1 and 2. Was 3 on PS3?
PS3.
Yeah, okay, so I only played 1 and 2.
Did you play the PSP ones?
Chains of Olympus.
I was going to say, I thought you played 1.
I did.
So, yeah.
I cannot believe I just remembered the title of that game.
That was great. I don't even...
It's been a decade since I played that game.
That's when you know it's good, if it's still in there.
Dude, I loved the God of War.
What was the other
games.
one called? I don't know. There were 2 PSP ones.
Pandora's Box?
You're probably right.
I'm just saying stuff. I don't know.
There was one with Pandora's Box.
I feel, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, the God of War games are spectacular.
And what's the story on this one? Is it Kratos?
It's Kratos.
Is it a prequel?
It is after 3.
It's after 3. Okay, so I haven't played 3.
Right, so I won't spoil
I imagine it has
anything.
to do with family and death. And
There's a lot of things that it's surprising that Kratos is in this one. Not to spoil anything, but you would think he is all done with games at this point.
Okay,
you
and
would think after the 3rd one, he'd be like, well, I'm good.
So is it the type of thing where, people are waiting to see what the explanation is in the game?
Yes,
okay.
For sure. And, even in the trailer, there are a lot of hints to, if you've played the other games, certain things to look for in the trailer.
Yeah.
But this looks like a complete departure from all other God of War games.
Really?
Yeah. The gameplay it looks more like Dark Souls. It's not as much hack and slash because he's doing a lot of dodging and then he goes in and then backs up.
Right.
Goes in and attacks.
The first ones are just get in there,
square,
kill everything.
Triangle, triangle. You are just going for the crazy combos. And this could have just been a dramatic opening.
Betrayal? Was that the other one?
I get?
What's Betrayal?
I don't know. I've actually never heard of that.
Well, carry on.
Yeah. And they had God of War Ascension. I forgot it.
Ascension, yeah.
Yeah, I played that one too, and that one was pretty good. 3 I think was like top. That was the best looking game I've ever played up until Xbox One and PS4.
Sure.
But yeah, it looks really cool.
That was the thing with the God of War games too. In particular, was they looked incredible, and the scale on which the bosses were. I mean, I'll never forget. I think it's the boss at the end of 2. I said I'll never forget, and then I said I think. Where you fight the giant statue of the god, or no, that's like the beginning of 2.
Yeah, well, that's actually in 3 as well.
So I get mixed up because in Devil May Cry 4. There's a very similar boss.
Yes, yeah.
Where you fight this giant.
That's at the end of 4, or I guess the middle and then the end.
But there's also one in God of War 2, I think.
My issue with God of War is I had a collection that had all the games on it.
So you're like...
I played them all like within the same month.
Really?
It's all one long game to me, is what it is.
That's kind of awesome.
It's awesome, but I'm like, if somebody was like, remember the boss in number 2? I'm like, I remember the boss.
You remember that giant statue thing?
It sounds familiar.
I don't remember when it is.
There's a lot of giant statues you see.
And that's what looks so cool, is the scale of bosses that you're fighting is like insane.
Yeah, it's, on par with Shadow of the Colossus, because you are just climbing these gigantic beasts and then going to stab them.
Did you get bored playing through all the games?
I didn't get bored, but it was tough because I played 1 and 2, and then I started playing the PSP ones, and they're remade and they look nice, but it's, once I got to the 3rd game, I was like, man, I have been playing this a lot.
Yeah.
And then so I played through the 4 of them and then took a little break because I know 3 was going to be awesome, but I didn't want to...
be oversaturated.
Exactly.
It's a testament to the series that you made it through all of them in a row.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and I remember the experience being amazing. But I do remember at times I got fatigued, and I was like, I've been pressing square.
Your square button stopped working.
I've been pressing it for 5 days. It hasn't stopped, but it's an amazing series, and this was so exciting, and even the reveal at E3 was amazing. Like
really?
they had a live orchestra start playing music, and then like it started, and you're like, what are we looking at here? They showed Days Gone first. That's that really awesome one, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then it transitioned right to God of War. And you didn't know it was until Kratos shows up, and everyone's like, "Ah!"
Oh man,
and it was just so exciting. But
yes.
Yeah, it looks...
That's incredible.
It looks to be awesome. All right, I'm almost done with my list. Crash Bandicoot's coming back.
I saw that.
1, 2, and 3 HD remastered.
Crazy.
Which is crazy because Activision owns the rights to Crash.
Okay.
Like Naughty Dog, I think sold it to Sony and then Sony sold it to Activision.
Okay.
But somehow they got it back. Maybe they bought it back. So they are doing that HD remaster, which to me is awesome. I guess people are upset because they want a new Crash game.
Well, do you remember, like, I don't know, a handful of episodes back, I mentioned that there was an announcement about Crash.
Yes.
And it was just Crash Bandicoot and like a date. It said like 2017, I think. And so people are automatically thinking like, oh, new Crash game.
Right.
So then when you make up something in your head and the announcement isn't what you thought it was, people are probably like, but
yeah,
I mean,
I'm so excited.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's the first 3 games with trophies, I assume, which is exhilarating to me because I love the achievements and trophies.
PS exclusive, I imagine.
It was at the Sony conference, and Crash has always been kind of Sony.
Yeah, he's like
brand.
PlayStation's Mario.
Right, exactly. And he's also showing up at Skylanders, which is a Spyro game, so it's kind of cool to see those two get together. But I won't get it. I won't get the Skylanders. I won't get Crash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next,
what do you got?
Number 3.
Okay.
Resident Evil 7.
Oh, dude.
Oh, my God.
The trailer is unbelievable.
It's so good.
I don't even understand how any of it connects. I don't know if it's a completely different story.
What's so crazy is it's coming out January 24th next year.
That's insane.
It's crazy that they kept it under wraps for so long.
Right.
And just were like, hey, it's coming out.
Yeah.
And have a demo. And they have...
Oh, that's right. You played the demo already? How good is it?
Oh, my God.
Really?
It feels a lot like a PT clone, but it's totally its own thing, I think. It's first person, and you're just kind of exploring this house, trying to find a way out. PT had the same environments, and that's kind of the same thing with the demo. But what's cool about the demo is it has multiple endings and a lot of secrets hidden in it.
Oh.
There's still one secret that people haven't figured out yet. You get this one item, it's called doll finger or whatever, and nobody knows what it goes to. People have been destroying the demo trying to find it.
Really?
And it's so cool that they made a demo where people are like just ripping it apart and trying to find all the secrets. Because there are, like I said, alternate endings, but none of them feel like the true ending, I guess. And PT also had the true secret ending that gave you the trailer for Silent Hills.
Right.
So I'm curious if Resident Evil's trying to do the same thing by giving you the real ending for
That's
it.
interesting. So do you think the demo is going to be, that's how all of Resident Evil 7 will play?
Well, they said the whole game you can play in PSVR. So I haven't seen a VR game that's third person.
Right.
So
what would be the point?
Right. So I'm led to believe the whole game might be first person.
Right.
Which is crazy for
We've
Resident
never
Evil.
had that. Have we? Are the Outbreak games first person?
They're like on-rail shooters, so I guess.
Okay.
I don't know if it was Outbreak, though, I think. I don't remember. But anyways, I want to know, are they remaking it? Are they doing, like, restarting the series?
Right. It's called 7.
It is called 7, so...
Biohazard?
Yes, it's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Yeah.
Which is funny because in Japan it's called Biohazard 7 Resident Evil.
Right. Yeah, right. Because they're all called that,
names,
right?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's... I've been waiting years for that because Resident Evil 6 came out and it was action and it was cool,
Sure.
But it was such a departure from all other Resident Evils.
And they got there so steadily. Like, everybody loved 4, but that was the first real departure from horror.
Yeah, well, that did a beautiful mixture of horror and
action. For sure.
Because that had scary scenes. The environment was horrifying. But yeah.
And then 5 was like, it was definitely action. 5 was all about mercenaries, dude. I played mercenaries on 5, like, unbelievable.
5 is for some reason, well, not for some reason, but is surprisingly my favorite out of all of them.
Really?
I have more hours than that. I've beat that campaign more times than anything else.
It's a great game. It's a really great game.
You have everything in here going off.
A bunch of stuff going on right now. It's a great game. And then 6, was a complete departure. I still enjoyed it. I thought the storylines were cool, but it felt, it still felt like a Resident Evil game because of the progression, but I feel like they got to that point. The next game had to be something like this.
Yeah.
Like, this was so smart.
Everyone was really upset with Resident Evil 6.
They were. And, like, it wasn't the best. You know what I mean? But I still enjoyed it. I'm kind of an easy crowd to please, and it was a fun game to play.
Yep.
Definitely was probably my least favorite Resident Evil game. Like, it's not even...
I think so,
It's not super memorable to me. Even compared to 4 and 5, it's definitely under those two to me.
Yeah. 4 and 5 are perfect.
Phenomenal. And I think this is the perfect time to reboot. It's horror again.
Yep.
And it's like...
And you can tell in the demo that it's not as scary as PT. Like, I didn't jump at all, but mostly I think it was more because I was just so excited I was playing something Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
For sure.
So I'm curious, like, are we going to see Chris, Leon? Are the characters coming back? Jill? Or are we,
Or are we seeing all new characters?
Yep.
I'm curious if this is because it seems to be more ghost focused. Is it that kind of thing? At least from the trailer.
In the demo, there is like a ghost girl that pops up, which we'll play it and I'll point her out while we're playing. But other than that, it seems there's like a zombie type person in it as well. So that's
always been what Resident Evil is.
Right.
It's a forerunner in like zombie survival horror. So
yeah, I think maybe it'll be a zombie game with ghost elements. I feel like,
which is cool. Yeah.
All right, almost done here, folks. Finally, technically this should have been on my list, but I want to do games that like have a release date.
Sure.
So the new Kojima game.
That's what I wanted to talk about. So earlier you mentioned like a game that you don't know much about, but you just want to go into and play it.
Yeah.
The trailer for this thing is so weird.
It was so like horrifying but amazing, and it's so Kojima. It is so
100%.
So him,
dude. His soundtracks, like I just was noticing, like how Silent Hill had this particular band that played a lot of the music on Silent Hill 2 soundtrack, and this game. So I'm sorry, I totally jumped ahead and flipped out because I was excited. But we've talked before about how Kojima had PT. Silent Hills was coming. It was going to be Kojima, Guillermo del Toro, starring Norman Reedus, and we haven't heard anything about it. And now this announcement comes. Kojima's putting out, it's called Death Stranding. Yeah. And the trailer, Norman Reedus is still in it.
Yep.
And him on a beach naked, and then all of a sudden he's holding a baby.
Is he connected to the baby?
It looks like it, but I can't really tell.
I think he is, but yeah.
There's only one moment where you can really see, because then he stands up, the camera comes up, the camera goes down, the baby's gone, and then there are baby handprints in the sand.
Yeah.
And his hands are black, and it shows that he had a huge cut in his stomach, almost looked like a cesarean section.
Oh,
so
wow,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it looks like there's this weird like birth of a child thing, and he's crying, and I don't know what's happening.
And then what's even crazier is he looks up in the sky and there's these 5 just floating.
Are they people?
I think they're people. That's
what it looks like.
And then it's a very long cut of that. Like it's slowly, like I think zooming out or zooming in, and you see them all, and then they all just fade away. They disappear, and then it goes back to Norman Reedus, and he's getting handprints all over him, right?
Yes,
and
that's
then
right.
I think it ends after that. I don't remember.
Yeah, pretty
and then
much.
the title shows up. It was like Hideo Kojima. And then, but oh my god!
And it just the visuals, like everything, it's amazing because it's not like this dark, scary, creepy thing, but it's very scary. Like it's not. I guess it's not like dark and monsters and ghosts and stuff, but just all the visuals are like, I am so creeped out.
Yeah,
right?
it's haunting. You're like, what am I looking at?
For sure.
Yeah, and you know he's had a lot of interviews before this, and he's saying he's been working on an action game. He's been working on a new type of genre, so nobody really knows what it's going to be. But it's exciting to see Norman Reedus back.
Yep.
You know, they have a nice connection. Kind of stinks that Del Toro's not there.
I'm bummed about that.
Because maybe he is, and they just didn't want to slap the name on. But, you know, it's obvious they're using a lot of the assets from PT in this. You know, they've already done all the mocap, and that's kind of different from, you know, the Fox engine they were using. So yeah, it's just so exciting. Came out of nowhere too. Right. Nobody knew he was going to announce it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he had an interview earlier that day. I was watching the live stream.
Yeah.
And he had a T-shirt on that said DS on it, and it was the logo for the game, but nobody knew what it was.
Oh, that's funny.
You know, they had like
with the font style,
with the lines and stuff. And he was like, even the interviewer was talking to him, and he's like, well, "What's your shirt about?" And he's like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just a shirt I like." And then it was obvious it was for the game.
That's so great.
But also it's just incredible. I'm so happy for him that everyone. He gets to do what he wants to do, and he's not, kicked out of the business. Everyone loves him. He
there was
like the king.
A slew of hilarious memes afterwards about him and
was he drinking the tears?
Yeah,
the Konami tears. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mug said Konami tears, and he's just sipping it. It's and it's awesome that he's built a name for himself at this point. That it doesn't matter what he makes, like people are going to be stoked about it. And the trailer's amazing. Like it's just kind of beautiful and haunting, and I just can't wait.
And the music was awesome.
Totally. That's a thing that he does for sure, like 100%. And I'm stoked about that. And like you said, you just don't know much about it, but I don't care. Like, that's good.
Just attach his name, and I'm sold
Oh,
immediately.
I
will buy it day one.
And it's nice to see a game like that every now and then where you're like, I have no idea what that is. Let's play it. It's going to be awesome. It's almost a more cinematic thing.
Yeah, that's his style. He loves like movies so much that it inspires his games a lot. So
cool.
And then my last game, and then I'll shut up.
Yep.
It is Days Gone.
Days Gone.
That zombie. Did you see the trailer?
I didn't. Okay, no, I read about it.
It looks like The Last of Us. It's it's not, because they're different. They're not zombies. They're called streakers, I guess. But yeah, it's a futurist, or not futurist. It's a apocalypse type zombie game. It's open world. It
post-apocalyptic.
Exactly. Yeah. And the trailer was just so amazing. Like it really showed the power of the PS4, because there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of zombies chasing this guy. He just alerted a horde, and then he started running through. And you had to see the trailer to, I guess, kind of grasp how many zombies there were. But he turned around and was just spraying them, and they did a spectacular job. It looks like an awesome game, but there's not much on it, other than that trailer.
Just enough to get people excited and hungry.
Enough, yep. Yeah. And once again, it's one of those surprising games that there were so many leaks before E3, and it was just surprising that nobody heard about it until they revealed it. But yeah, it's just one worth mentioning because it looks awesome. No release date, probably like a year or two from now, anyway. So
sounds like we got plenty to look forward to before then.
Yes.
Now, very important question for me. I mean, for you, from me.
Yes.
Can you play PS3 games on a PS4?
No. Unless you get PS Now. Which, is kind of worth it. I think it's like $10 a month.
Here's my thing, Tim. I just have a lot to catch up on.
I know. Dude, I have a PS3.
I know, but you live upstairs and I live downstairs. Oh. It's all right. I have my Xbox, but a lot of Sony's announcements were just so huge. And I'm like, dude, I got to play. It makes me think of all the games I haven't played yet that I need to beat before these come out, like The Last of Us and the God of War games. But that's the thing.
You get to experience them. I remember my time, like, Uncharted, Last of Us, experiencing them for the first time. But now you have them all completed. You can just go play them. It's awesome.
What do you mean, like the updated versions of them?
No, like with Uncharted. I was playing it. I played Uncharted 1, 2, and then I had to wait
and then you had
3.
to wait, yeah.
So you are just at that point where you skipped a generation, but then you get to play all the awesome
games.
I
mean, if I can find the time to sit down and play 4 full games.
That's the thing. You missed a lot of games, so there's a lot to catch up on.
A lot. But it's exciting, man. Lots of announcements. We'll probably have even more to talk about next week.
Yeah. There's things I skipped out, like the new Xbox, but we'll save that for next week.
We can put that in our technology section next week, maybe.
Technology.
Right. I don't know. Do you put that in technology or video games? It's tough.
Technological video games.
Yeah, I like it.
Last E3 bit, and then I'm done for sure.
Yeah, you've said that a couple times.
I know. I think the best and the worst thing about E3 is when they announce the dates and the collector's edition for games.
Okay.
Because I am so tempted to go and buy every single collector's edition.
Of course.
The Last Guardians collector's edition.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Really?
Oh my God.
Why?
It's like a giant statue of the creature and the boy, and it's just like this huge thing. But it's $120.
And you get rid of all your statues anyways.
No, I only got rid of Marcus because he's stinky.
You didn't even get rid of him.
No, I didn't.
Where
can't
is he?
get rid of him.
Can I put him in here?
If you want to.
I want to.
Yeah, that's the issue. I want to get all these things. It's such a first world problem. I have too many statues.
Oh, I punched my mic. I was laughing.
The Recore's got an awesome one that I already got. But
you did?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's expensive though.
How much?
$180. But I got Prime, so I got it for $140. I had to get it though. Recore, I'm so excited. And Final Fantasy, I got Final Fantasy 15.
All right.
I know, I'm just gloating at this point.
So, I know. Things were rubbing it in, you jerk.
Yeah, but I'm just at this point where like I can't get any more special editions because I don't have the room.
No.
But it's more like I'm buying them in the hope that I'm going to get a room someday where I could just display them. Like I want a shelf and put all the statues I got.
Dude, that was my thing. I'm like, someday I'm going to have an office. And like now I have one. It's already full.
I think if you put a shelf like right over
there,
I could.
Golden. I just don't feel like putting up shelves.
All right. I talked a lot. I'm just so excited about E3.
It is very exciting. A lot of exciting stuff. I think we are going to wrap it up. Oh, we might be able to finish just under 2 hours.
Yep.
That's a longer one.
Always fun to edit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I just accidentally licked my mic. It was weird.
Maybe, baby.
What?
Maybe, baby.
Thank you for joining us for episode number 26. Go play some video games.
Forever.
Watch X-Men Apocalypse.
Forever.
Just watch the movie and then go play video games.
Watch the games and play the movies.
Yeah. And we'll be back again, I assume.
No, Brett.
Next week.
No.
No?
No.
Subscribe to the podcast if you haven't.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Find us on YouTube if you haven't. And what do you do on YouTube? You subscribe?
Yes.
I know that.
Like, share, subscribe, follow, tweet. I think it's that time.
We'll see you guys next time here on the Keep Up Podcast.
Baby, I want a podcast. Baby, you want a podcast.
I'm turning this off.
Watch out for the feather in your cap. If it flies away, you're not here anymore. The giant on the ceiling, Brett, he's watching you. Have you ever felt the shoulders of fate push against your heart? And you're like, dude, I can't do that. And then the fate giant is like, baby, don't worry, I got your neck. And you're like, woo! I like to call that a French twist. At the end of every French film, it's like, what a twist, wee wee.